Today's lesson is a serene, snowy adventure. My time in Shirakawa Go. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're going to continue talking about our writer's trip to the place in Japan called Shirakawa Go. That's kind of that old village with those big old houses with the steep roofs and places like that. We've got some more things to talk about in today's lesson.
Absolutely. We've learned about these wonderful houses with their thatched roofs, that sort of woven straw that they use. Many old traditional houses, both in Japan and in Europe, of course, have thatched roofs, and many homes in Japan and in Europe and in other places that get a lot of snow also have those very interesting sort of triangular shaped roofs that allow them to withstand the heavy snowfalls that they can get in this part of Japan. Now, we also learned that the houses not only can withstand snow, but earthquakes. Yes, indeed, Japan, like Taiwan, has to take earthquakes into mind when they're building these buildings. But I think the good news is the houses in Japan, at least, have been there 250 years. And I imagine they've probably had a couple of earthquakes in that time. So it proves that their engineering and architecture is definitely up to the challenge that Mother Nature can throw at them. Now, today we're going to be having another look at this very interesting part of Japan that very few tourists actually get to visit. So let's check out our article.
The largest of the houses, the Wada House, offers deeper insight into the village's heritage. The Wada family was the most powerful family in the area for centuries, and the family's enormous three-story home certainly reflects that. In addition to displaying a large Buddhist family altar, the house allowed me to see a traditional irori fireplace and some of the tools and utensils used in traditional daily life.
Okay, so in the first paragraph of today's lesson, we're talking one of those houses, those big thatched roofed houses, and the largest of the houses, the Wada House, offers deeper insight into the village's heritage. So you could check out all those houses there, but you should probably focus specifically on the Wada House because it offers deeper insight into the heritage or the cultural history of this village. Insight here, or insights, you could have it singular or plural. That just means some kind of special information that you wouldn't get normally. So yeah, check out this house and maybe you can have some more information about these homes and this particular part of Japan.
Absolutely, and it definitely sounds like this house is a very special one and may have been sort of turned into a type of museum for the people who live there and, of course, for visitors to learn more about the lifestyle in this part of Japan. It says the Wada family was the most powerful family in the area for centuries, and the family's enormous three-story home certainly reflects that. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Both of the family line goes back so long. The family was a very powerful and important family, maybe owned a lot of the businesses or were sort of the political leaders of this area, this town, and they obviously had a very special house. It's a three-story or a three-floor home described as being enormous. Now, the pictures of these traditional Japanese houses that they have in this area, none of them have ever really struck me as being mansion-like or castle-like. So having a three-story home in that style, it certainly does seem as if this home was built to impress and would have been one of the biggest, most expensive houses in town, especially back in the old days. It says, in addition to displaying a large Buddhist family altar, the house allowed me to see a traditional irori fireplace and some of the tools and utensils used in traditional daily life. So yeah, by kind of visiting this house, you're taking a step back in time and getting an idea of what life was like on the domestic front, on the sort of home and living front for people in Japan hundreds of years ago. They had a large Buddhist family altar. Well, this is something we often find around Taiwan, not just in temples and shrines, but in people's private homes. They have a family altar, an altar being a sort of raised area, often a table-like platform, and this is where religious ceremonies and rites will often be held. The altar in a church will usually be at the eastern end of the church. It might be where you have a large cross, a sort of ornamental symbol of Christianity, and it also might be where the minister, the priest, the religious leader conducts ceremonies they might stand in front of or behind the altar for weddings or masses and things like that when they're giving out communion. And altars in Taiwanese homes can have pictures of loved ones who've passed away. They can have places to put candles and incense and often little effigies, little pictures or little sculptures of gods and deities from different religions. In this case, Buddhist religion, of course, is very popular and very commonly found in eastern parts of Asia. And so, of course, Japan being a Shinto culture, this is actually a little unusual for Japan. It's predominantly Shinto, especially in the past, but they also, yes, had Buddhist culture entering in from Japan and other areas. So a Buddhist family altar, obviously the Wadas were Buddhists, and the house allowed the visitors, including us, if we go, and the writer here, of course, to see some traditional things that you might find in the home, like an Aurori fireplace and some of the tools and utensils.
Indeed. So an Aurori fireplace is a kind of fireplace that they have in Japan. You burn wood or whatever to create heat in the home. And we also got tools that they used in daily life and also some utensils. Utensils, that word usually refers to knives, forks, and spoons that you use when you eat, but it could also refer to other things that are used in the preparation of cooking or the preparation of food. And, of course, you can see those things if you check out this home. I suppose they have scheduled hours in which you could go inside and visit the place. Yeah, go there and check it out yourself. Okay, let's move on now to the next part of our lesson and find out some more information about our travel destination, Shirakawa-go.
I was also incredibly fortunate to experience the annual Light Up Festival, when the village's houses shine from within, transforming into luminous lanterns that glow among the sea of snow. This hugely popular event occurs on just 4 nights each year, making tickets to the Ogimachi Castle observation deck extraordinarily difficult to obtain. I managed to secure one and witness firsthand the scenes most often captured on postcards. This January marks the festival's 40th anniversary, so it's a particularly special time to visit the magical destination.
大家好，第二部分介绍形容词 annual， 它的意思是年度的，一年一次的。例如 The park attracts thousands of visitors during its annual flower show every April. 公园在每年4月的花展期间都会吸引数千名游客。或者 The annual rainfall in this region is around 130 centimeters. 这个地区的年降雨量大约为130厘米。接下来看到形容词 observation， 表示用于观景或观察的。例如 Head to the observation tower for a great view of the mountains. 到观景塔就能看到美丽的山景。或是The soldiers watched the activities of the enemy forces from a hidden observation post. 士兵们从一个隐蔽的观察哨监看敌军的活动。继续看到动词 obtain， 意思是获得或是得到。例如 Scott was able to obtain financing from investors to launch his startup. Scott 成功从投资者那里得到资金，以开创他的新公司。也可以说 You need to obtain permission before you can enter that room. 你需要获得许可才能进入那个房间。接着介绍动词 secure， 表示获得或是设法得到。可以说 After weeks of interviews, Whitney managed to secure a job at a major law firm. 经过数周的面试， Whitney 终于成功获得了一间大型律师事务所的工作机会。又或者说 The research team secured funding from a major science foundation. 该研究团队获得了一个重要科学基金会的资金。再来看一个动词 witness， 它的意思是目睹或是见证。例如 Maxine was excited to witness her favorite band perform live on stage. Maxine 很兴奋能亲眼看到她最爱的乐团在舞台上现场表演。或是 Mr. Parker was happy to witness his young daughter take her first steps. Parker 先生很高兴能目睹小女儿踏出第一步。另外 witness 也可以当名词使用，意思是目击者。举个例子 The only witness to the crime disappeared before the trial began. 这起犯罪案唯一的目击者在审判前就消失了。再看一个例子 Witnesses of the car crash say that they saw the 2 cars racing on the highway. 那场车祸的目击者们说他们看到2台车在高速公路上飙车。最后看到名词 anniversary， 指周年纪念日。可以说 This year, my wife and I will have our 5th wedding anniversary. 今年我和我太太将迎来我们的结婚5周年。
All right, let's get into our second paragraph. So not only is this a very interesting town to visit during the winter, you can see the beautiful snow on the roofs there and see how the town operates during some of the heavy snowfalls that they experience. But also, if your timing is really good, like our writer, you can see some other very, very special festivals which happen every year. It says, I was also incredibly fortunate to experience the annual Light Up Festival, when the village's houses shine from within, transforming into luminous lanterns that glow among the sea of snow. What a pretty picture that sentence paints for us. So being incredibly fortunate, very lucky. And this is an annual Light Up Festival from the capital letters. That's the English translation. I'm sure there's a way of saying it in Japan, but we're going to stick with the English version. Light Up Festival. And this is, yes, held every year. It's an annual festival. Something that is annual is something that happens every year. The migration of animals is an annual thing that we see in all parts of the world. Your birthday is an annual celebration of the day you were born, and many countries, of course, have national holidays that happen on an annual basis. They happen one time every year. So the Light Up Festival is a winter festival, but it will happen every winter, and it's when the village's houses shine from within. So kind of think of just a scattering of candles in this sort of field of snow with some dark trees there. It almost does sort of seem like a picture from a children's book or something you might see in a beautiful Japanese anime or something like that, transforming or changing what is just normally a town, of course, in the daytime into luminous lanterns that glow among the sea of snow. Luminous meaning shining or glowing softly. We wouldn't use luminous maybe for like a spotlight that they might use on a boat to, find people in the dark, but we would use luminous for candles, for Christmas lights, for that kind of soft, gentle glow that we get from some pretty lighting effects. And in this case, it's from lanterns, candles, and other things, and they glow among the sea of snow. So that white snow, the yellow glow of the lanterns, and the sort of darkness of the forest around.
Sounds like a great photo opportunity. Yes. If I were to take pictures of a scene like that, I'd probably underexpose the picture because the glowing lanterns or whatever would be read by the sensor as being very bright or dim, and then it would screw up the exposure, but that's another topic for another day. And again, this hugely popular event occurs on just 4 nights each year, making tickets to the Ogimachi Castle observation deck extraordinarily difficult to obtain. So this is another attraction in this particular place, the Ogimachi Castle. Japan, of course, has got all those castles. You can have some great views from the observation deck. Observation just has to do with observing things or looking at things, in this particular case, from a high place. If you're interested in checking out the scenery of Taipei, for example, you can go to the observation deck in 101, for example, and get a great view of Taipei and the surrounding mountains. And so here, of course, lots of people want to go to Ogimachi Castle to see these lanterns lit up, or these homes lit up. But of course, those tickets are going to be very, very difficult to obtain. If you obtain something, that just means you get something, especially if it's something difficult to get.
But our writer seems to be very lucky because he next writes, I managed to secure one and witnessed firsthand the scenes most often captured on postcards. So to secure one, well, it also kind of means to get one. Now, if you secure something, it's probably difficult to get or to obtain, and it sort of means that through some kind of luck or maybe through knowing the right people or just being in the right place at the right time, you got your hands on one. I secured 2 seats in the crowded bus. Hurry, come over here, or something like that. So we wouldn't really say, I'm going to the store to secure a bottle of milk or something, because that's not a hard thing to get. But if it is a hard thing to get and other people might be trying to get it from you or get it in front of you or get it ahead of you, you can say something like, yes, I don't think I'll be able to secure tickets for Taylor Swift's concert in Singapore because, millions of people want to go and there's only 20,000 tickets and they're hard to get or to secure. So they did get the tickets and then witnessed firsthand the scenes most often captured on postcards, those beautiful scenes of these glowing houses in the Light Up Festival. To witness something is just to be there and see it with your own eyes. You didn't read about it. You didn't see it on TV. No one told you about it. Someone who happened to be there and tells you about it, well, they witnessed it, but you, not being there, you did not. So if you see something firsthand, if you're actually there to see it and experience it, you witness it. Many Taylor Swift fans would love to witness her in concert, to use that reference I used before. And it says this January marks the festival's 40th anniversary. Wow, so it's very special. It's a particularly special time to visit the magical destination. So yes, just as we have annual things that happen every year, an anniversary is kind of like a birthday celebration that happens every year. For people, we have birthdays, but for other things, institutions or things like that, special events, special dates in history, we would have anniversaries. Whenever there's a big moment in history, often the 25th, 50th, 100th anniversary, that type of thing. And of course, people might celebrate their wedding anniversary every year, the special date many years ago on which they got married.
That's probably the most common kind of anniversary that I've heard about. It's our wedding anniversary today. We've been married for 20 years. But yes, this is also something that happens once a year, the 40th anniversary of this particular festival. So you can bet lots of people want to check this out. So it's a particularly special time to visit the magical destination. So get online and reserve your tickets, although they're probably all gone by now. But still, you could probably see something if you go there now. It's not too late. Okay, we're at the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Here comes the third part. Let's listen.
With its old-fashioned charm, Shirakawa-go seems frozen in time. So it's no wonder that it attracts tourists from far and wide. It might have been icy cold outside, but walking on the soft blankets of snow, I couldn't help but feel a warm bliss inside.
Okay, so here in the third part of our lesson it says, with its old-fashioned charm, Shirakawa-go seems frozen in time, so it's no wonder that it attracts tourists from far and wide. So this is how we're wrapping up this particular lesson, this particular essay, these articles or whatever. Yeah, we're talking about the old-fashioned charm, and because it has this charm or this attractiveness, it seems like it's frozen in time. Okay, it's not advanced to the modern time. It feels like you're stepping back in history, so it's not surprising. It's no wonder that it attracts tourists from far and wide, which means from all over the place, perhaps from all over Japan, all over Asia, and from all over the world.
Very, very cool. And I'm sure tourists might even be planning to visit the Light Up Festival next year, so maybe you'll find tickets a little easier to secure. It says it might have been icy cold outside. Well, it will be if you visit this part of Japan in the winter. So it might have been icy cold outside, but walking on the soft blankets of snow, I couldn't help but feel a warm bliss inside. Well, that is absolutely wonderful and a good way to wrap up our visit to Shirakawa-go and get an idea of what it's like in one of these more isolated, less visited mountain towns in Japan in the cold winter months. So it is icy cold outside. We have to deal with that. That's something you just have to expect. A lot of people love skiing, but maybe don't love so much, their noses and toes feeling cold. But it's just part of the deal when you do stuff outside in the winter. But walking on those soft blankets of snow, the silence of the winter, I think is something that often impresses people when they haven't experienced it very often. The sort of that weird crunching, squeaking sound that snow can make under your boots as you walk around on snow. It's a very special type of environment to be in. So this writer says, I couldn't help but feel a warm bliss inside. And bliss is sort of like paradise. It's like a wonderful feeling. It's the feeling of comfort, the feeling of happiness, the feeling of contentment and joy and that kind of thing. When you get back together with your family, if you haven't seen them in a long time, that would be bliss. Or maybe just sliding into a warm bathtub or water off a beautiful tropical beach in perfect weather. That feeling of just beautiful comfort on your skin is a way we might describe or use this word bliss. So it could also be the warm cup of sake that they possibly had before they went walking in the snow. But it's just a place of contentment, peace, quietude, and absolute perfect beauty, I think, as a way to sort of experience the very unique and special and quite lovely winters that they have in this part of Japan.
Sounds like a pretty cool place to go, but before we come up with a discussion question, we're going to hear now from our Chinese teacher, Hanny.
各 位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第3部分提到，白川乡拥有古朴的魅力，仿佛凝结于时间之中，因此吸引来自世界各地的游客也就不足为奇。文中是用It's no wonder that it attracts tourists from far and wide. 表达说吸引来自世界各地的游客不足为奇。From far and wide 就是指来自各地，来自四面八方。至于这个句型 It's no wonder 或是用 It's little wonder, It's small wonder 后面接 that 子句就可以表达难怪怎么样并不足为奇。其中的 it 是虚主词，用来代替后面的 that 子句。那这个句型也常常省略 it's， 可以直接用 no wonder 或是 little wonder 或是 small wonder 来接 that 子句。举例来说 Rabbits are cute, fluffy, and cuddly.It's no wonder that people love keeping them as pets. 或者是可以直接说 No wonder people love keeping them as pets. 兔子可爱，毛茸茸又惹人怜爱，难怪人们喜欢养它们来当宠物。好，那也顺便补充几个句型，可以表达难怪、不令人意外、不足为奇的意思。第一个是 It's not surprising 加 that 子句，然后还可以用 It's no surprise 或者是 It's little surprise 加 that 子句，还可以用 It comes as no surprise 加上 that 子句。那这边也补充一下 come as a surprise 表示令人惊讶，叫人跌破眼镜。那我们刚刚说这个 It comes as no surprise 或是把 no 改成 little 也可以，然后后面接 that 子句就可以表达 that 子句描述的事件不令人意外，在意料之中。好，看到课文的结尾，作者有写到 It might have been icy cold outside, but walking on the soft blankets of snow, I couldn't help but feel a warm bliss inside. 外面或许寒风凛冽，但走在柔软的雪毯上，我内心却不禁涌起一股温暖的幸福感。好，这边有2个重点。第一个是 may have been 或者是 might have been， 在这边表示有可能，也许怎么样怎么样。那用到这个 may have 或者是 might have 加上 pp 是用来表达对过去事件或行为的推测。may 表达的可能性比 might 来得高。例如Ian was supposed to be here 20 minutes ago. He might have been delayed by traffic. Ian 原本应该20分钟前就要到这里，他可能因为交通而耽搁了吧。好，如果我们现在是要表达对现在或未来的推测时，则是用 may 或是 might 加原形动词。例如 The tickets may sell out very quickly. 门票可能很快就会销售一空。好，第2个补充的重点是 can't help but 或者是 couldn't help but 后面接原形动词，可以表达忍不住、不禁、不由自主的做某事。我们也可以用 can't help 或者是 couldn't help 加上动词 ing。举例来说 She couldn't help but smile at the photo。也可以说 She couldn't help smiling at the photo. 她不由自主地对着照片微笑。好，那以上是今天的重点整理，我们回顾这些单字吧。
Insight. Alan's detailed report gave us some insight into how to approach the problem. Annual. A meeting was held for the purpose of deciding where the club should go on its annual trip. Observation. The city zoo recently built a new observation area near the lion habitat. Obtain. With so many false claims on social media, it's not always easy to obtain accurate information these days. Secure. After graduating from law school, Franklin secured a job at a top international law firm. Witness. Because he was on a business trip, Maggie's father was unable to witness the moment she received the award. Anniversary. They celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary by taking a trip to Paris.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here is our discussion question for today, and the question is, have you ever visited Shirakawa-go? If yes, what did you think of it? If no, would you like to visit it sometime?
Yes, I've been to Shirakawa-go, and I thought it was beautiful. It actually reminded me of the Swiss Alps in many sorts of ways. The shapes of the houses, the glow of the lights in the wintertime. And I know there is actually a big connection between Japan and Switzerland. I was in Switzerland one summer, and they had marching bands from Osaka there. So I think maybe the similarities between these parts of the world go a little bit below the surface to some deeper connections.
Well, no, I've never been there before, but like James Taylor going to Carolina in his mind, I could go there in my mind as well. Just imagine going there. I don't think I'm going to have the time or money to go there. Even though Japan is not too far away, I think it's only about a 4-hour flight or something like that. But I haven't been to Kagoshima, or I haven't been to Inuyama or places like that. Those are places I'd rather go first.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, so please make sure you join us again next time. For all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger.
See you next time.